I thought I would do a video for each season, beginning with winter. So, belated Happy New Year to all my subscribers. As you can see here in Cheshire, we have had, earlier in the week, we had some snowfall, and then we had ice, like a freeze, which has retained the snow on the ground, and now it seems to be thawing underfoot. On New Year's Eve and Day, we had flooding in this area. One of the main trunk roads was flooded. The local town was flooded, but that's all subsided now. So not the best start to the new year, but hey ho. Unfortunately, flooding is increasing. And the weather is getting more and more adverse. But I just thought that I would have a look round the garden and do a little winter vlog and so forth. So if we look at what's in the garden here, there's a few berries here clinging to this tree, little white ones, and there's still some greenery here. Not a lot of it, but there's some greenery there as well, and it stands out, the greenery, at this time of year. Then we've got the evergreens at the back as well here, with the coniferous trees, and I don't really want to walk across the lawn here because it would just ruin this blanket of snow. So I hope everybody had a nice Christmas and New Year. I want to talk about that a little bit. I don't really make New Year's resolutions because to me, the middle of winter is really, I mean, a New Year's resolution is like when you decide you're going to make a positive change. Most people do new diets and eat thingy, and that's really good. I've got nothing against that. That's really good. But it's really the middle of winter, the time to start a new eating and diet regime, when you obviously take in less calories and you're doing more exercise. But for me personally, it is not. I mean, I continue my yoga and I'm looking towards eating less carbs, but not following any particular diet, just doing what I call mindful eating. But now, in the middle of winter, is really not the time to do that for me because it's been very, very cold in a lot of the country, and you need to keep warm, and to keep warm, your body burns energy. So for me, going on a diet or anything like that, or any New Year's resolution, it just feels like the wrong season for me to do it. And it's something I'm likely to do around the spring equinox. So that's just my little opinion. But although the trees are in evergreen right now, their energy is silent. Because one of the things I am doing this year is working with the trees. I'm drawn to trees, so I thought I would work with them. And I just thought I'd do this little vlog and start with the garden, which is all blanketed in this lovely snow. And there on the snow, all that sprinkling are mealworms, which we get from the garden centre. Well, we take it in turns. My elderly mother bought this lot, I bought the last lot, and we put them out. And as we're stepping outside, a little robin came down but flew away. So I'm going to go back inside now and leave that video here for now and catch you in the next section. Okay, so I thought I'd come on and show you my project I'm working on throughout the year. And I mentioned it in the previous clip about doing a project where I'm kind of trying to connect more with trees. I've always felt connected with trees since a child. I am a neurodivergent, and most neurodivergent people have a differently wired brain to neurotypical people. And so if you're neurodivergent, you're likely to see things that other people cannot, and that includes myself. And this is just why, this is just my explanation as to why I'm doing this. In the winter, when the trees are bare, I see like an aura around the trees, an auric field. And in the summer, when the trees are in leaf, I see faces within each tree. And I can only describe them as green man faces, because that's what they look like to me. And I would suspect that the green man artistry probably came from the fact that people in ancient times saw in trees in leaf what I see, and so they were able to portray that, usually in sculpture. And that's why I'm working with trees. I'm following the Celtic year. I'm going from the first tree, which is birch, which is also my birth tree, and working with this. And then I'm using this beautiful book, not to copy from, because the trees, although there's tree meanings in this book, and I may adapt some of them, I want to use what the tree speaks to me, really. So this is about my journey with trees, not somebody else's. So for me, it's about what the tree tells me through its energy. It sounds completely bonkers, but that's what it is. But this is a beautiful book. It's so lovely illustrated. Really, really. Oh, funnily enough, we've come to birch. But while this book works with the Ogam, I'm working with the runes. Rather than the Ogam. It's just the difference and the way I'm doing it, but it is beautifully illustrated. A really, really lovely illustrated book. And it's and I thought, well, I'd keep it out just for ideas, but I'm not going to look at the meanings, because each tree will give me its own meaning and conversation, if that makes sense. So it's just kind of like a little tree diary that I'm doing, really, and then writing about each tree. And then there I've done a rather crap drawing of, looks a bit like the nervous system, but I suppose trees do when they're bare. And this here, this orange bit, is like the aura I see around the trees when they're not in leaf. So that's kind of that. So yeah, that's my little project, which I just thought I'd show you. And I will catch you in the next one. Okay. So it's one of those days that's still thawing. I'm in my local park here. You can see how everything's died back. You may recognise this. Many of you may have seen videos of me when I used to come here with my Staffordshire Bull Terrier Nero, who sadly died last year, and he's still a great miss. Yeah, I've got lots of different trees, and coming up is a birch, which is a tree I'm currently working with. It's just nice to have a little stroll. I thought I'd do that and then go for a coffee. Just done a supermarket shop. Look at this birch. Look at the beautiful bark, and the bark on the kind of striations and lines of the bark on a birch tend to go sideways, whereas on other trees they kind of go down. Some of it might be peeling off here, but I'm not going to take it. Birch bark had plenty of uses. It could be made into packaging. The ancients used birch a lot. I believe it could have been used to write things on. There's a lot of use of birch bark, and it is a beautiful tree. Look into the canopy there. It's a tree that also has those witches' brooms, which are they look like birds' nests, but they're not. I think it's kind of a infection or something. But I just thought I'd film around this tree, just because I'm focusing on birch this month. And tomorrow I'm going to be heading to Glastonbury for a week. And I'll probably have a walk in the Abbey Gardens and look at the trees there. But I'm kind of like trying to commune with this tree. Look at that little eye shape. So yeah, everything's all wintering, resting. And I just thought I'd share that little clip with you. I just thought I'd show you what I mean with the way the lines on a birch tree go sideways or horizontal instead of vertical. As you can see, this tree is striations and undulations are going downward, as is that one. There they're kind of going sideways again. I think that's a birch. We've got a beautiful specimen coming up over there. Just zoom in, you can see it's silver birch, which is nice. And there are some shoots coming up as well in the ground. I just saw a clump of shoots, probably snowdrops. It is quite muddy because we had a lot of rain and then we had snow and then it was icy for a few days and now it's beginning to thaw. Yes, this is another beautiful birch specimen here. Really, really nice tree. With beautiful silver bark. So I just wanted to share that. And the crunch of ice underfoot, of course. Children playing. And still lots of green. So yeah. And I'll catch you when I'm in Glastonbury. Okay, so I'm here in Glastonbury Abbey. I arrived in Glastonbury this morning and I thought I would have a nice stroll around. I'm in what is the Lady Chapel and it's nice and quiet at the moment. I'll take a stroll down there later, but I just thought I'd come on and show you how silent everything is. All the bare trees, the vivid green of the grass, and yeah, it's really nice and quiet, whereas in the summer it will really be busy. Well, the interesting thing about this abbey is that it is an abbey that has some royal burials in it. The most famous royal burial is supposedly that of King Arthur and his queen Guinevere, and the burial site for that is just between these two archways here. And I think I've shown it you before in videos, but it's where King Arthur and his queen are supposedly buried. Now, whether that is true or it was just a story the monks made up to get more people in, I don't know. But there are other royal burials here, and one of those is somebody called Edmund Ironside, and he lived in around about the 990s. And he was the son of Ethelred the Unready, and he was king in 1016, and his reign was only for a few months. He came to the throne in 1016, and he died in 1016, obviously pre-Norman conquest, and he is buried in this abbey somewhere. Then we have another early pre-conquest king called Edgar, and he was king from 944 to 975, so 30 years. And he was sometimes known as Edgar the Peacemaker, and he was reigning while England was undergoing Viking attack. So he had all that to deal with. So this early English King Edgar, along with Edmund Ironside, is also buried somewhere in this abbey. And it's interesting to think that under the ground somewhere there are kings buried here. It may be that these kings are buried in this vicinity somewhere. I mean, obviously the church then would have been completely different to how the church looks now. And then there was another king, the third, or the fourth if you include Arthur, and that was Edmund I, and he was king from 939 until his death in 946, and he was a grandson of King Alfred the Great. So there are at least 3 pre-conquest kings buried in this abbey. And then along with Arthur, and it may be Arthur, it may not be. I mean, it may be that these bones that were found were not actually of Arthur, but from one of these other kings from the pre-conquest, and they've named him Arthur to attract more pilgrims. But that's the plaque commemorating the site of where King Arthur is supposedly buried. So I'm going to enjoy a little walk round, and I just wanted to share that little snippet with you. And also, before I go, I just thought I'd mention today is the 13th of January, and it's actually, in folk tradition, known as Plough Monday. And that's quite another interesting thing. Plough Monday, I think it goes way back, probably to the medieval time, maybe even earlier than that. And it always falls on the first Monday after the 12th day of Christmastide. Some say it was to mark the start of work after Christmas, which it probably was. It may also have marked the beginning of the ploughing season, which would also make sense, hence the name Plough Monday. So I just thought I would share that bit of information with you, and I'll leave you here as I head towards the Lady Chapel on this bright, cold, well, this cloudy January morning, and catch you in the next one. All right then, bye. So I'm in Glastonbury Abbey orchard here, the apple orchard, and all these clumps here of balls are mistletoe. So that's all mistletoe. It grows, it can grow on oak. There it is. And there's some further up in the tree there. So, although the tree is dormant and wintering, the mistletoe is not. So I just thought I would share that with you. Absolutely loads of mistletoe here. So yeah, I just thought I would share that with you. Okay, so I'm here in my tiny home in Glastonbury, which I've shown you before. It's early in the morning, it's about 9 o'clock, something like that. And just through that window there, this is the side I sleep on. So I've made my bed up, and that's, I've got a heater just over there, and that's the top I'm going to wear today that's warming up by the heater. It's the temperature's 3 here, but I have got the heating on, and I have a little fire that I light and put in the bathroom, which is at the end over there. So I just thought I'd show you. I have a window here. To move over here. Although you can't see it very well, but that hill, I just point out the line, that hill is actually Glastonbury Tor. And the only reason you cannot see the tower is because the trees are blocking its view. But yeah, from my lounge window, I have a view of Glastonbury Tor, which is very nice. And then over here is the site where I'm sited. I always have the same, my caravan's always sited on this particular spot. And then that's my sofa that I usually film from. And I thought I would just while I'm wintering, and it's winter, this is a book I've been reading this winter. I started it before Christmas, and actually, as you can see, I bought it when I bought it here in Glastonbury. It's now called the Hollow Hills Bookshop. Well, this is a really good book. It's not so much about the Palladians themselves or aliens. It's about, it's all about this woman channeled this information, and it's about working with the light. And it's very interesting. It totally resonates with me. She channeled this information, and what I'll do is I'll just bring the back in, and then you can always pause to read the back. So if I pop that there, then pause the video so you can read the back. But she did some massive channeling through these guys, and she's getting information that we are moving towards the light. And what's spoken about in this book, or what was channeled, is kind of beginning to unfold. And a lot of people talk, although I'm not one for conspiracy theories, a lot of people talk about we've been kept in the dark, and that I always call them the corrupt elite, that we're ruled by the corrupt elite, and they're trying to keep us ignorant of the truth. And that book is kind of talking about that. And they're trying to keep us in the darkness, and they don't like the fact that we're working with the light. So it is a very interesting book. And that's, yeah, I just thought I'd share with you over this winter vlog that is what I am reading at this moment. So yeah, I'm not going to film around Glastonbury town while I'm here, because there's loads of videos out there of Glastonbury town. But I am going to go to, I'm going to have a visit to Wells while I'm here. But I'm not going to film that. And I will probably, if I've got time, go to the Chalice. Well, I am working in the Goddess Temple towards the end of the week as well. And I may or may not film that. But yeah, I just thought I'd share with you what I'm currently reading. So I shall see you all soon. Okay, so here's another little wintering clip. I'm in the city of Wells, which is about 15 minutes by bus from Glastonbury, and I thought I'd come here for the day, just have a look around this magnificent cathedral. It's very quiet today, and the entrance to the cathedral is that way, and I'm going to see if I can film in the cathedral. Some cathedrals don't let you, so It may be that I cannot, but anyway, I'm going to see if I can, and if I can, you'll see the clips. Okay, so I'm in the cathedral, and just looking at these gorgeous dresses. Gorgeous, aren't they? They're an exhibition of wedding dresses that a lady has made. I'd have one of these as my wedding dress. In fact, I think I would have that one as my wedding dress because I love the colours. But aren't they nice? It's got a very Scottish theme. We're in the cloisters here. Wow, and it goes round. And that's some of you may recognise these cloisters from the filming of The Spanish Princess. And then that's just outside. Let's show you these. This one's got coming up to this one, it's got very fairy energy. Looks like a fairy gown, like a fairy would wear. Wow. And then this one with hares and moons on. Last time I came here, we were filming The Spanish Princess, and I was here in 2019. Yeah, so, wow, look at that tree. So let's go on and have a walk about. I'll film this video in bits and pieces. So yeah, I'll catch you shortly. This tomb is of the Lord Privy Seal from 1443 to 1444, so that will put him in the War of the Roses. And it's his effigy, a memorial, and here he is at the top, and here he is at the bottom. He's a rotting corpse. Lovely. I'm not going to give you much commentary because it's a quiet place of reflection. was lucky. That was pure by chance. Well, that was a stroke of good luck. I was really expecting to wait about 15 minutes or so. But yeah, so I caught it for you all. And it's a clock that dates to about the 1300s, so it's a pretty old clock. Got a little chapel here. The Chantry Chapel of Nicholas Bubwith. Let's have a look at this big expanse now, where there's another altar. Don't really want those people in, but hey ho, they'll be filming me and they won't want me in either, but it is what it is. Beautiful flowers here. And an old gravestone.